Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome to today's video. So as you can see, once again, the portal is alight with the lovely yellow hue, meaning it is once again time to pull some shards. But in addition, this is also kind of a bonus, and as always, we're never pulling without a purpose. So these summons are for the pursuit of the Serpent Titan event in the long haul, but also the Path of the Serpent. We're trying to secure as many of, or all, actually I should say, all of the Titan points that are being offered in this event. And you can see we've done a little bit of work here. All I needed to do, or all I need to do, is to get all the way out to, I guess, what, these 4 nodes? And then the rest we can do with sacreds. At least that was my plan. That was my mathing prior. So you can see we're about 1,500-ish points short, and I can definitely do that with Dungeon Divers over the course of the evening. And so all we have to do is pull 7 sacreds. That's how much we got credit for from Dungeon Divers. So we get 7, or we pull 7 sacreds, and we'll be a little bit short, but we'll get majority of the nodes completed after this session, and then the rest of it I will finish over the course of the evening. Popping over to the portal, let's take a look at the overall shard count on the account. We have 659 on the Ancients, 225 on the Voids, 12 on the Primals, and 51 on the Circuits, which of course we'll be dipping into today. On top of that, there is a Progressive Chance event featuring champions that all have continuous heals, and as I mentioned in my previous video, the free-to-play review of the Path of the Serpent, as well as this Progressive Chance event, my choice is going to be Bad Alcazar. He's not on my top 5 legendary wish list anymore, but he's on like the secondary wish list because he would just be nice to have. He's a rare champion in the game now, at least in the end game relative to the Cursed City of Centranos, where he is a support who deals damage via poisons, and that is somewhat very hard to do depending on the restrictions of any given stage. And so having him on the account will be very, very powerful as far as those support or HP support type stages as far as providing damage. And then Ulfrig, he's one of the couple of epics that I'm missing for the Lady Mikage fusion, so he is my first choice. But if we do happen to get him early, I will most certainly try and switch this out for Rector Drath because I would like to empower her with more copies. And then for reference, obviously I already have a UDK. I got him from the free promotion. I already have a Wither of the Crown, so she's not as desirable. I also have a Calvalax already, so majority of the champions I do have. The only 2 I don't have are Bad Alcazar and Grand Oak Padraig, who I technically had a chance to get, but I didn't think he was worth as many shards as he was being offered for in his Hero's Path. And then if we check on the Mercy tracker here, focusing on this row here, you can see that we are 3 shards deep, so we're fairly distant from Mercy, and we will not actually get to Mercy. And so this is a crapshoot as far as RNG for getting a legendary in the first place. And if we do happen to get a legendary, even with the 15x, there's roughly like a 5-ish% chance that it's Bad Alcazar, so the odds are fairly low. So we'll just see what happens. But 7 sacreds will bring us up to 10, which will bring us closer to Mercy. Maybe that's advantageous for any future upcoming events, but we're not going to be in Mercy, and there's no guarantee of anything from the shard pull session. So as usual, when it comes to sessions featuring progressive chances, we don't talk about any other champions from my main wish list. We were just focusing on the ones being offered in the event just to see what happens. But for the epics that we are most inevitably going to get, obviously Ulfrig would be nice, Rector, as we already spoke about, but in general, any other epics for empowerment will be useful on my account. So let's dive right in. We've got the space, we've got some cash, and hopefully we get some pretty average luck, although we don't need much. So let's kick things off. Sacred number 1. Again, we are going only 7 deep, and right out of the gate, progressive chance, awesome stuff. We got Ulfrig, so we can just immediately swap that out and put a Rector in. Bingo. Sweet. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought. But okay, Ulfrig, yeah, he's, primarily featured for the Lady Mikage fusion. Obviously, I do already have her. I got her from Remnant Summon, but I do plan to fuse the copy of her because why not? We get to have 2. So he is there. Sweet. And then we're just missing Elisanya. So that is the one epic that we need to fuse the second copy of Lady Mikage. We'll take that. But yeah, other than that, I think he's okay. I think he has like a shield, can use heal, maybe decrease attack or something in his kit. So he's not he's not a bad champion if you want to use him, but I think obviously sacrificing him for Lady Mikage is a lot more worth it. Unless you already have her, and then he probably can have some utility in the Cursed City, maybe Faction Wars if you really need him for that purpose. So Sacred number 2, starting from the top. Let's see if we can double dip on the progressive chance with the epics, and it is not Rector Drath. Okay, Seneschal, underwhelming champion. He does have this provoke AoE, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown, so it's not the most reliable thing in the world, but nonetheless, in a pinch, he can definitely do some work, particularly in the Cursed City. I think he can do some stuff. Oh, Wow. Okay. We got a legendary. Didn't expect that at all. But more importantly, we actually hit the progressive chance event. So it is not a scam, at least in this particular instance. All right. So, okay, we'll definitely take that. Battle Khazar is on the account. We kind of already mentioned, we mentioned already what he does. But yeah, this is his bread and butter ability here. 3-turn cooldown when booked. Full cleanse of your entire team. 2 continuous heals. And then 2 AoE poisons on all enemies. He only has one ability, and so he rotates between this and the AoE on the A1, which can heal him and all other allies by the damage inflicted, which can honestly stack up over the long haul or the course of long battles. And then he's also fairly well known for the passive here to increase the damage inflicted to targets under poison. So he's a good setup champion for Trundas and any other maximum damage from Hell Hades and stuff like that. So yeah, super awesome. Okay, well, I did not expect to get a legendary. You saw the Mercy. It wasn't guaranteed by any means, but we'll almost certainly take it. And I guess we go with another swap here. So I guess, well, Grand Oak. I don't have him. I don't need a copy of anyone else. So let's go for the unique circumstance here. So that is reset. 3 Sacreds down and 4 to go. And I guess we absolutely hit the luck train today. So we'll most certainly take that as we carry on. Can we make it a 3 for 3 by getting the Rectored Wrath as well? We'll see. So Zealotah. We thought he was going to be useful in the Sand Devil with the AoE sleep as well as the sleep on the A1, but it turned out to not be the case. He's not really that strong of a champion, but for like the Cursed City, he can be pretty decent CC and also a little bit of protection with the shield and continuous heal, granted on a 4-turn cooldown, so it's not the strongest ability in the game. 3 more Sacreds to go. I mean, honestly, we've gotten so lucky so far that I'm kind of happy. Like, I'm satisfied thus far. Oathbound, pretty decent as well in the Cursed City. I think he has AoE, decrease attack, and then he has a 4-hitter at random, which honestly, I wish it was an AoE as well, but block active skills, which can be nice for control, faction wars, Cursed City, etc. things. 2 Sacreds to go. Did I lose count? I think we started at 51, so we pulled 5. So this is number 6. Zhurozhin running at us. AoE provoke. And then, does he have decrease? No, decrease attack is on the A1. There we go. I thought he had AoE. But yeah, and then a single target hit here. I've heard he does decent damage, or like, I guess, a reasonable amount of damage if you need him as a damage leader in the Cursed City. But yeah, I'm not convinced. And maybe, I don't know, maybe the stages he might be useful on are just the ones that feel like non-starters to me. So I'm not really investing in him. But nonetheless, that is what I've heard. And so last Sacred, here we go. We're going from 51 down to 44. I can math. That is -7. Taragi the Frog, one of the best ally protectors in the game with this ability on a 3-turn cooldown. Also heals himself by 25% of his max HP. AoE provoke, underrated aspect of his kit, just because mostly people see or use him in clan boss, and you don't really need that. But it's a really high chance to provoke if you get a bunch of debuffs on the enemy team. Then a decreased attack on the A1, again making him really solid for clan boss. And then the passive has a chance to place poisons whenever he is hit, which can occur multiple times because it's per hit for anyone who hits multiple times. For example, Demon Lord, Clan Boss, or Scarab King as well, if you want to think about that way. He's kind of like a mini Euros the Soul Cage if you want to solo the Scarab King, provided you have Blood Shield and a respectable amount of accuracy. But yeah, there you go. Taragi the Frog is going to close it out, and we can walk through the path a little bit. Actually, no, let's... God, these pop-ups. Okay, we can walk through the champion index here and check out our new champions. Honestly, wait, who else is new? Oh, of course, Ulfric. I forgot that he's a Bannerlord. But yeah, there you go. Ulfric the Epic is unlocked. And then, of course, Battle Khazar is finally here. Years and years after I added him to the wish list and demoted him and took him off and then put him on the secondary one. He's been around the ringer, but he's finally unlocked on my account. So hey, we'll put him to good use. Definitely gonna see some play in hard mode dragon just to help speed that up, and perhaps replace Pythian. We'll see if I can make him tanky enough to do that, but that'll be interesting to see. So that's a new toy for me to play with on my account. Checking in on the Serpent path, let's go ahead and claim some of our stuff here. So let's get the Epic Tome, let's get the big node of 1 hundo. Let's come down here. I guess we want the extract more than anything else. I'm actually gonna go this way first just to make it easier to finish. Oh no, oh okay. I guess we, yeah, I guess rounding benefited us here. So we can just claim all the points, and there's a little bit of overshoot. So okay, so I rounded up to 7, obviously, because it's like it was probably like 6.5 sacreds, but you can't really do that. So 7 sacreds was what we needed. And yeah, so I guess I don't really have to grind that hard. So once I finish the Fire Knight tournament, I don't actually have to run it any further to get more Dungeon Divers credit. So sweet, we'll take that, unless I really care about getting the Mathrala portrait, which I probably don't. So all right, there you go. I didn't actually do the full-blown math like down to the wire just to see if we actually had enough credit thus far to get all the points, but we actually did. So that's a big whopping 300 points, and you can see where I'm at in the Serpent's Path, or the Serpent's Titan event here. Done basically everything that's been offered, so we get to claim all of this lovely protection gear. I'm holding on to the split souls in case there is a soul chase in the near term, so that's why those are being preserved on each of these. We'll just see. I don't typically do soul chases anymore, just because the values seem to go down unless it happens to coincide with the boosted rates for souls, so that's a little bit of change in my strategy. But nonetheless, we'll just see if we get a little bit of credit, and maybe that'll bring us close enough to a legendary tome and the soul chase that I might be tempted to pull, even if it's not boosted rates. We'll see. But yeah, we are well on our way towards the milestone 5. I've not skipped anything thus far, so if you're using myself as a litmus test, then if you're around 600-ish points, then you're on the right track. Obviously, I haven't claimed Fire Knight yet from the tournament, so that should bring me up to 680 by the end of this evening. All right, so I guess all in all, it was a fairly lucky session. I did double check my numbers before, and I did misspeak that the chance for a 15x progressive chance is actually around 8%, 7.5-ish% chance. So we just got super lucky by 1, getting a legendary at all without hitting Mercy, and 2, just happening to be the boosted champion that we selected. So there you have it. Sometimes they do work, but most of the time they do not. So do not bank on this being reflected in your individual pools. And at this point, you might be wondering what the important reminder is that I'm mentioning in the title. And unfortunately, I do have to get a little bit more serious here. I will be taking a little bit of a break from content creation because I was informed a few days ago that my dearest father has passed away. And as you might expect, I will be away with my family as we try and muddle our way through this really sad circumstance. But I don't want this to be like a sad thing, a pity party or anything like that. I just want to say that, obviously life is short and whatnot, all the cliches you hear. But really, the main thing I want to remind people is that just treasure the moments you have with your loved ones, because yes, you never know when opportunity might strike in the worst possible way and they'll just not be there the next day. But just don't even think about it in that way. Just think about every time you're with one of your loved ones, take some time to appreciate that they are still there. Appreciate what you do have, in the same way that we try to appreciate what we have when we play Raid Shadow Legends, and anything else in life. So that's the important message. I want to just remind everyone, just treasure your loved ones, give them a call, just appreciate that they're there, and just treasure the time that you have to spend with them. Thankfully, I spoke to my dad last a week ago, and we had a lovely conversation, a normal conversation. We always talk once a week. That's our commitment to our, always keeping in touch. And, like I said, it was a lovely conversation. Didn't know it was going to be the final one, but, we were talking like we normally do, and there's no negative feelings, nothing bad. It was always good. So thankfully, we got to end things on a good note, a happy note, a normal note, dare I say. And so, yeah, I'm not going to go into any details here. Obviously, I do like to keep my private life private. But I just want you guys to know if when I disappear for a bit, that's the reason why. And so with that, I'll just skip the normal outro stuff and just say thanks for watching and see you soon.